At the beginning of the movie recap, a boy named Light is shown. At that time he was in School of Light. A sudden seasonal change occurs. Tides begin to blow and fall from the sky to the earth. Find and examine the notebook Light. He keeps it under his control. Here T is open. This is not an ordinary notebook, but a mysterious ancient notebook. Then it started raining there. Light comes in. A misfit student at school bullies another boy. Light forbade him to do so, and the boy hit Light instead. He fell to the ground with his Light bag. Light found another student's homework from Light's bag. This is the secret of Light helping other students with their homework. Light was sent to the director for this reason. Light was kept in an isolated room as a punishment. It reminds me of an old notebook that sits isolated. Then he started reading the book. This is not an ordinary notebook, but filled with the description of the rules. There are also rules and regulations to keep this notebook. This book goes back centuries. Light feels uncomfortable to hold this notebook. As he examines these notebooks, mysterious events begin to unfold. Light observed something strange there. This is not a man, but another creature. His body has a face that gives it a hideous and devilish look. Light witnessed it and was terrified. But later he realized that he is not a creature, but the spirit of death. This is the spirit of death who owns this notebook. The spirit of death tells the Light about the truth that this notebook can do. There are some notes in this book called death notes. The one who keeps this book is the owner of this book. So, Light was the owner of this notebook at that time. The important fact of this book is, anyone named Death Note will die. The owner of the notebook can kill anyone. Once Light is selected, he can write any method of killing in the notebook. He will then die according to the written statement of the victim. But the owner must follow some rules for this. Light doesn't believe him now. The book Death Spirit appeared in front of the person who had the book at that time. Spirit of Death says, Light, write the name in the notebook in at least 7 days. This notebook will belong to someone else if they don't write their name or don't follow the rules. The requirement to write everyone's name in the notebook is, the owner must remember his face and real name. Only one way of death that exists in reality will be recorded. Spirit of Death says, Light, you must use this notebook. Then Light looked at the poor boy from the living room window. At that time, someone mockingly hit lightning. Agreeing with the spirit of death, Light wrote the boy's name in the notebook. If the head is crushed, the boy will die. Then immediately changed the shape of the stone appeared. 2 cars collided with each other. In the car there was a metal ladder where our boy's head was crushed. All who are Light witnessed this. He saw the light and began to believe. It is the truth that the spirit of the dead tells based on the truth. That's why Light is so scary. Death says to Light, you can do a lot with this book. If you do not wish to own this notebook, I will give ownership of this notebook to someone else. After that, Light returned home. Light's father appears as a detective in the house. It was later revealed that a criminal killed Light's mother last year. But the criminal walks free because he has no evidence. So father and son do not have a good relationship. Lampu raged at his father, you didn't take revenge on my mother. The Light was annoyed by this fact. Light then thought that he could write the criminal's name in the death note. And so he did. He wrote the villain's name in his death note. Then show who has a party with friends. He suddenly died in front of everyone. Father and son were happy to hear the news of the criminal's death. Here Light avenges his mother. The relationship between father and son is also restored. Light then thought, how can the magical purpose of this notebook work well? Light sitting at school thinking about it. Then a girl named Mia came to him. Mia is Light's best friend, so she confides in him. Then I found a mysterious book. Everyone whose name is written in it is dead. But Mia doesn't believe it. Light shows Mia a demonstration to prove it, where the killer comes in. Light writes about the killer in Death Note, because he'll be dead when the car crashes with him. It happens the same because Light knew the real name and face of that killer in his mind. Mia is surprised to witness this. They plan, we are the owner of great power, so we will eradicate the worst persons from this world. Among the worst people are criminals, murderers, and such threatening people. To do this, the face and real name could be easily researched through the internet. And so they put the names of the bad guys on the list. And bad people are also starting to meet their fate gradually. It is also revealed here that the owner of the laptop can control the dying person. Light chose a name for himself which was Kira. As Light, the name Kira was written whenever someone died. So the worst people can go off to do a bad deed after being terrorized by this name. That Kira has arrived to put an end to all criminals and worst people. At first sight, this news went viral all over the world, that the serial killer Kira has arrived and continues to kill everyone. And some people preferred Kira. In this way, the worst people will be eradicated from the world. He was actually a murderer, so the police wanted to look for him. There was no evidence against Light, so it was not easy to detect him. Then an intelligence investigator is hired to look into the case. That investigator was called L, who was very sharp. He used to mask his face and no one knew his real name either. Light and Mia were very content in their lives. They killed more than 400 people. L is decalcified at the meeting. Kira reveal himself in front of everyone. Being intelligent, L investigates the roots of this case. L also takes the company of Light's father since he was a detective, so they can get to Kira as soon as possible. Light and Mia are upset because they didn't think of it. He will conspire to arrest them, because they were still happy, but the arrival of L increased their anxiety. Light asks his father what Kira's punishment will be if he is caught. Light's father says half the population will demand that Kira be put to death, while half the population will be forced to examine the way he did it. Knowing this, Light's anxiety is even greater. He tells Mia too and suggests to her that we stop it now, because there were many people including Light under the suspicion of L, because he could get closer to his father's data. So L assigns the duty of the agent to detect Light, so he can keep an eye on the activities of the Light. Knowing this, Light keeps calm. Mia feels bad when she realizes Light's lack of interest in the laptop, because Mia was happy about it. L became an obstacle in the path of Light and Mia, but they cannot kill him against their will, because they neither saw his face nor knew his real name. It was also a laptop rule. Light and Mia talk about it. This name of all agents who detect Kira should be written in this notebook, so other agents can be terrorized by Kira, and he reluctantly has to close this case. It was Mia's suggestion, while Light was unwilling to do such a thing, because he was not willing to take the lives of innocent people. So Mia must agree with Light. On the contrary, L also finds out that Kira became a victim of those people who were shown on television, and Kira cannot pursue those whose face and name are not revealed before him. To avoid suspicion, Light decides not to kill people for a few days. Suddenly there is an incident where all the agents commit suicide and jump from the building. Who are the agents of this case and the search for Kira? These names were not written by Light. Who wrote their names? This is where the situation gets worse, because Kira has killed the worst drive so far. People called him a hero, but now he killed the police. Thus he turned into a threat that can take anyone's life. Light is problematic because of this incident. Spirit of Death asks, "Did you commit it?" Then the Spirit of Death says that those names were written by anyone else, because I can't. In his seminar, Light's father challenges Kira that, "Stop killing innocent people. Kill me if you dare. Come before everyone else." This message was followed by Mia and Light. Mia aggressively tells him, "Write your father's name in that notebook." Says Mia, "How can I kill my father? You are crazy." L handled this case more wisely. He checks whether Kira kills Light's father or not, but that will not happen. Light's father remains alive. Solo's suspicion of the Light turned into belief. Since he is also a detective, he solves this case. However, he did not become a victim of Kira, so Kira is none other than Light. So L confronts Light at night. She tries to find out from him, "You're Kira." L also interrogates Light and reveals his face. He says, "Stop it now." Light leaves and overlooks him. Now the sword of Damocles hangs over his head. He could not kill L despite his wish. Mia says, "L, I had a big crush on you. We should do something to avoid this problem." Light thinks a lot to keep L out of his way. He says, "I saw the face of L, and L's real name will surely be known to his friend." Light writes the name of Lo's friend in that notebook, and she gains control over him. Now another laptop rule is revealed here. That person will be safe and not harmed if the owner burns the person's name page. But the Spirit of Death reveals the Light. This happens only once. Now L's friend was under the control of Light, but he also didn't know about the real name of L. Light commands him, in any case, to know about the real name of L. L's friend says L attended the academy. It's possible his documents may have his real name. So Light immediately asks him to visit the academy. L's friend executes the command and moves to the academy. Light planned that if he knew L's real name, he burns the page where friend L's name is written, and it will be secured, and everything comes according to its routine. But L is suspicious that his friend is missing. He also understands the whole story that the Light also possessed him to know my true name. L is desperate about it, and he comes to Light's house without informing. He tells Light's father, "Your son is the real Kira. He is the one who disappeared, my friend." But Light was not in a state of suspicion, because there was no evidence against him. L finds nothing in their house while exploring, not even the ancient notebook, because Mia took it with her. Then Light receives a call from L's friend who says, "I have reached the academy," and he had little time left. Leo's friend almost revealed the name. Then Light checks that the page with the name is not there, but it has disappeared when he wants to burn it. So Leo's friend is dead before he says the name. The Light is down on him. Then Mia reveals this secret at a dance party that, "I tore out the page with the friend's L name on it. In addition, I also wrote the names of the agents in that notebook." He says, "Now I have written your name in that notebook too." And the manner of Light's death is this: his heartbeat stops working at midnight and he remains dead. He says, "I will burn the page with your name on it if you hand me this notebook." It means Mia is flirting with him to get the book. When he knows about his friend's death, Elle tries hard to arrest Light. Finally, Elle catches Light, but Elle tells the cook standing there, "He's Kira. Help me catch him." But the cook knocks Elle, because he was the defender of Kira. Elle takes Mia with him as he runs. Then they come to the swing and grab themselves up. In the meantime, the police also intervene there. Light says, "Mia, you won't touch this notebook if you love me. We will set things straight for each other." Because Mia is greedy, she does not agree with him. He grabs the notebook from Svetla. Light says, "Mia, when she sees this, it was your fault at all." When Mia hears this, she will understand. Light will write my name in this notebook. Their names were on the pages of the notebook, so they both fell immediately. Mia is dead on the spot, but Light falls into the water. Afterwards, Light is shown in the hospital, having fallen into a coma. Meanwhile, more criminals are also dead. People notice that Elle was suspicious of Light, who fell into a coma, and people still die. Then I'm observed. When Mia and Elle fell off the swing, a page was separated from that notebook, and it's burnt, and that page had the name Light written on it. Light acted wisely, like knowing that Mia wrote his name in the notebook. Then he wrote in the book, "Mia will be dead if she brings the notebook from him." And the page that has the name Light written on it will be burned, and the Light falls into the water. He also wrote the names of the most evil people in the book. A corrupt doctor knocks Light into a deep unconsciousness and pulls him out of the water. Later, the same doctor commits suicide. Then another man takes the laptop. Many bad people write in that notebook. Afterwards, the man brings the notebook to Light, who has woken up from his coma. Afterwards, Elle is terminated, but makes one last appearance at Mia's house, and he gets the name of the dead cops, so all the accusations are put on Mia. The Light also made a full recovery and got that laptop too, but he was taught the lesson that from now on he would not trust anyone. And the film recap also ends on this scene.